Welcome to this week's Movie Math, which was a real roller coaster ride for Hollywood, complete with eye-popping highs and terrifying lows. The real winner, though, wasn't even in the top 10, and that's Universal and Illumination Entertainment's Minions. After a long journey, 10 weeks to be exact, Kevin Stewart and Bob have successfully led their tribe to the $1 billion club. That means Disney is no longer the only animation studio to have a flick in that hallowed circle, a threat they looked to stave off by purchasing Pixar, but apparently that only delayed the inevitable. Last week I pointed out that Disney Animation's initial refusal to take its burgeoning competition seriously has led to today's cutthroat market, and the same could happen to Marvel if they also ignore their competition. Because with the exception of Christopher Nolan's second 2 Batman movies, all the comic book movies in the $1 billion club are from Disney Marvel. Will that change in 2016 and beyond? In fact, there are currently 23 films in the $1 billion club, and Disney by far and away has the most with 8. But speaking of competition making up serious ground, Universal jumped to 3rd place just this year. Yes, Universal is the first Hollywood studio to have 3 pictures earn $1 billion in a single year. And 2 of those 3 are thanks to Legendary Pictures switching over from Warner Brothers, which seems to suddenly have made Universal enter a fight that previously seemed to just be between Disney and Warner Brothers. Just like when everyone assumed it was just Disney Pixar versus DreamWorks. But hey, when there's this kind of money at play, as there is with animation and blockbuster franchises, everyone finds a way to get in on the game. Oh, and by the way, Minions hasn't even hit China yet, which it does September 13th. So it just might add insult. We Are Your Friends opened outside of the top 10 with the lowest debut ever for a studio film playing in 2,000 or more theaters. That not only settles it once and for all that Efron can't open a movie, but if that Baywatch deal isn't signed yet, well, maybe Dwayne Johnson should keep looking for a new patrol partner. This also means Blurred Lines it girl Emily Ratajkowski's movie career is DOA, as she clearly isn't able to sell movie tickets, and considering how low this debut is, perhaps she actually kept people away, particularly perhaps female moviegoers who are likely Efron's bread and butter, or were. As for director and co-writer Max Joseph, hey, at least he still got his hosting gig on MTV's Catfish. But while Efron's star continues to flicker out, religious films are only shining brighter. War Room ended up being the big new release of the weekend, opening at number 2 and even outgrossing first-place finisher Straight Outta Compton on Friday. This is the 3rd religious film from director-producer brothers Alex and Stephen Kendrick, and their biggest debut yet. And interestingly, this is their first film featuring a predominantly black cast. And with Straight Outta Compton still at number 1 for the 3rd week in a row, this signals 3 things. 1, that black audiences are exhibiting tremendous purchase power, not just here but with other films in 2015, like Furious 7 and Home, which could be what finally ushers in some true diversification in mainstream movies. And 2, that non-black audiences are becoming more open to seeing films with predominantly black casts, as black audiences have been doing the opposite for, well, forever. And while sure, 44% of War Room's audience was black, 42% was Caucasian. Finally, 3, religious films have their marketing on point, aggressively targeting churches while pushing group ticket sales. If only the big studios would make this kind of effort to market their other fare. As for the weekend's other new release, No Escape did solid business and came in just below Mission Impossible Rogue Nation in 4th place. This is a pretty typical box office debut for both Owen Wilson and Pierce Brosnan, although thanks to the lack of competition, they find themselves a little higher up in the top 10 than usual. And it certainly helps balance out Wilson's other new flick this week, She's Funny That Way, which went straight to digital and has a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. No Escape has 41%? As for last weekend's new releases, they all fell about 50% in their second weekends, with American Ultra even falling out of the top 10, although it still did better than We Are Your Friends. Finally, maybe Z for Zachariah should have gone for a full theatrical release instead of a day-and-date digital release. It has a poor per theater average, yet was number 6 on iTunes over the weekend and had the best reviews of the new releases. As for this coming weekend, Labor Day weekend, The Transporter Refueled is the only new flick driving into theaters, and even still is expected to debut on the low side for the franchise. Yep, it seems the box office has a few more lumps to take before it gets its groove back on September 18th with Black Mass and The Scorch Trials, plus a slew of specialty releases. Although, The Perfect Guy and The Visit could surprise us the weekend prior. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. As always, thanks for watching. And I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.